Greetings, 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 family. Happy Friday, and welcome to another Friday Night Frights. I know I'm a little bit later than normal, but I didn't even think I was going to make it today, but thank God I did. I'm pretty sure that we have sound, but let me just hop in and make sure. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started because I do have a lot of information I want to cover today. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started because y'all know I always have to check to make sure that we have, I feel like the fan is right on me. I have to always check to make sure that we have sound because y'all know how YouTube be doing me. So let's put this down here. I do not have the air condition on because I just don't want to have it on. Greetings, camera. Thank you so much for the jewels. I appreciate you. Right back at you, sister. So let's talk about what is happening here, right? Now, there's a lot that I want to cover. Okay. Well, thank you for the gift. You said you didn't know what that was. Thank you so much for the gift. I appreciate you. So that is something new that StreamYard is offering, where normally if I'm on YouTube mobile, people can give gifts and jewels and things. But I think one of the, let me make sure this sounds like it's up too loud. One of the updates on StreamYard is they allow you to give jewels and gifts now. Let me come closer. So, love you too. Love you too, sister. All right, so we're going to get started. So there are a few things that has happened in Tucson that I've been wanting to talk about. I told you all I wanted to tell you about the mass powing, right? But first, let's get started because I know when I was covering the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping, a lot of people were like, oh, they only talking about, is something in my eye. They're only talking about, rich people. They only talk about Nancy because she's rich and her daughter is blah, blah, blah. But when I come across certain stories I specifically stay away from because they are triggers for me. But this young lady, 16 years old, Cecilia Munoz, Munoz, M-U-N-O-Z. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me turn all this down. Greetings, Eliza. Happy Friday, family. Happy Friday. Welcome to another Friday Night Frights. So this young lady right here in the front with the red hair, she's 16 years old and she has been missing for some time. The public is still asking for their help, investigators and law enforcement, they are asking for the public's help of finding Cecilia Munoz. She is 16. So they are imploring the public to help them to find the 16-year-old. She has been missing since May 26th of 2022 of this year. So May, June, July, August, May, June. So she's been missing for about 2 months. And I want to show you all a video real quick in regards to Cecilia. And that way you can see it up close. She has been missing for some time, for 2 months. So they are asking the public for some assistance. I think you all can see this. Let me just make sure. Yes, you can. Perfect. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So it says that the search continues for Cecilia Monique Munoz. She's 16, who was last seen in Tucson nearly 2 months ago. Anyone with information regarding her appearance is advised to contact. I think that is called the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So 1-800-THE-LOST. So they're asking, she's been missing since May 26, 2026, right? 5/26/26. So about 2 months, a little over 2 months. The number, if you have seen her, is 1-800-THE-LOST. And she's 16. They don't have a lot of information. It just says authorities believe that Cecilia may stay in the local Tucson area. So she is 16. She is 5'5", about 140 pounds, 5'5", 140 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes, right? This is not the best picture of her because you cannot see her eyes, and she has the red hair, right? She may have dyed her hair red. So this may not be the best picture of her, but she is missing and has been missing for 2 months in Tucson, here in Tucson. And it's crazy because if you Google missing teens in Tucson, I'm not going to lie, going to school out here, I am in awe at how many young people that are like, there's something in my eye, guys. How many young people that are like 18, 19 years old, 20 some odd years old, that are in horrible, horrible situations where, there's a girl that I was in my accounting class with, and you can't tell me that she wasn't being abused by her dude. You can't tell me that. No one can tell me that because when we studied together, he was always calling her. As soon as we got out of class one day, I was walking behind her. She took her phone out immediately. And she was like, I was in class. I couldn't answer the phone. I was in class. And I'm like, that's a red flag. Now, she may not know that because she's so young, but that's a red flag. Now, she lives with his father and her boyfriend. So she's the only female in the house. And when we were studying, like as soon as we finished studying, she had to, yes, we just finished studying. Can you come get me? Right? And it's so sad because I dropped her off one day because we said we were going to be finished at 8, right? So we finished a little bit before that, about 7 something. And she called him and he got in the shower at 8. So he told her, I'm just now getting in the shower. So I just dropped her off. It wasn't far. I just dropped her off, but I felt so bad for her. So I never realized how bad certain situations or I never realized how bad certain situations are with young people around here. Excuse me. I don't know. So if you're in the Tucson area or if you see Cecilia Munoz, call 1-800-THE-LOST. Okay, so, and she's 16. She's 16. And if she's missing, unfortunately, we don't want to think anything bad has happened, but unless there are a lot of young people that are homeless and missing and going through things, and there substance abuse involved and alcoholism involved. And I'm just in awe because I'm like, where the heck are these people's parents? Like with Celeste, right? Where were her parents? Parents are there to say no. Yes, they're there to say yes, but they're there to say no. And if they tell you no, it's probably for a reason, to try to protect you, But okay, so normally I would say anniversary, right? Because we know that the 6-month anniversary for Nancy Guthrie is coming up, right? Normally I would say anniversary, but I'm not going to say anniversary because anniversary normally yields celebration, right? Oh, it's our anniversary. There is nothing happy about the 6-month mark of Nancy Guthrie's abduction. There is nothing to celebrate, right? The family hasn't had They haven't had any closure, right? And I'm going to give you an update. I know I don't talk about the Nancy Guthrie, or don't cover the Nancy Guthrie abduction every day or all the time, but you know, it's just speculation because no new evidence has come out, right? When people interview, retired people or things like that, we know Brian Enton periodically he covers it, and he's interviewing different people, retired FBI agents and things like that. But it's all speculation, right? So there has been a new update. Let me pull that up. There has been okay, so let's stop sharing that screen and let's go to this one. So recent information has come out. Okay. All right. So recent information has come out, but so it's stating the new Nancy Guthrie kidnapping note claims to reveal cause of death. Now, this was 2 hours ago, right? But it also reveals certain things that has happened. So I'm just going to kind of put it all together. So it says this is per MSN. It says there's a new development in the Nancy Guthrie case. A new note claims that Savannah's mom died shortly after her kidnapping. Now, you all may have heard this. Local Tucson, Arizona, KOLA 13 News revealed two notes. There were two notes from the Pima County Sheriff's Department, and which later turned them over to the FBI. Now, this is specific because I've heard about these notes, but I'm a visual person. So sometimes when I hear things, let me make sure we are in the same thing. Sometimes when I hear things, it kind of goes in one ear and out the other because I'm a visual person. So if I meet you and you say, and I say, hey, what's your name? And you say Eliza, and I'm like, okay, Eliza, good. If I don't say the name over and over and over, right? Every time I say, well, how's your family, Eliza? Or, blah, blah, blah. If I don't use your name over and over and over, it like goes in one ear and out the other. Now, if you have a name tag, I look at your name tag. I'm a visual person. That's why it's kind of easy for me to study. I'm a visual person, but I can see it. So I've heard different things in regards to this case, in regards to the notes, but I haven't seen them, right? So this is why I'm sharing this now. So it states that the first note was sent on February 2nd. We know that she was last seen. We know that Nancy was last seen on January 31st, right? We know that that's the last day that someone physically saw her family, her friends, her neighbors. That's the last time someone physically saw her was January 31st of 2026, right? So that's why I say, technically today is the last time, 6 months. Today makes the 6 month. Today makes the 6 month mark. Say that 5 times, right? Today is the 6 month mark of Nancy being abducted, right? Tomorrow will be the 6 month mark of her being abducted. But today is the last day that she was seen, right? Okay. I just want to make that specifically. Y'all like, it doesn't matter, girl. It's just one day, less than 24 hours, right? But January 31st is the last time someone saw her. February 1st is the last time, as far as we know, that she was abducted, per the camera footage and all that, the doorbell camera and everything. So it says the first note was sent on February 2nd, the day after Guthrie was discovered to be missing, right? So it says, it read, let me see, let me get back to it. Where is it? Oh, now I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Okay. So it said, it read, we have your mother, Nancy. She is safe but scared. She will be held for ransom. This is absolutely insane, right? She will be held for ransom, and once payment is received, she will be released unharmed. We will be holding her for a maximum of 7 days. You will need to send Bitcoin in the amount of $4 million US dollars before 5 p.m. on Thursday, the 5th. If payment is not received, the ransom will be increased to $6 million US dollars which will need to be paid by 5 p.m. on Monday the 9th. So you remember we were out there, we were waiting for this date, like, oh my God, this marks the time. It's just, I've never been this close to anything. I've never been able to go to someone's home and be like, wow, it's nice and sunny out here, but we know that something diabolical happened in that home. I never thought that we would be sitting here 6 months later and still stating what happened to Nancy Guthrie. This is just, but y'all, the things that I've been through this past six years, I'm like, people are absolutely diabolical. And you do not know what is going on in their minds because none of us are mind readers. So we don't know. We have no idea. They smile in your face and then they're planning your demise. So that said, Monday the 9th, once payment is received to the Bitcoin address below, she will be released within 12 hours of deposit to a safe drop off location back in Tucson. Now that's a key word, back in Tucson. So that makes me think that they did take her out of Tucson, right? Back in Tucson. You know, I know that certain investigators that are looking at notes and things like that, they're going to dissect it, right? They're going to dissect if you're saying past tense, right? Like past tense, you're like, well, if she's missing, why are you talking about past tense, right? So, but it says back in Tucson, which makes me think that they did take her out of Tucson. When people were saying, oh, well, maybe they took her to Mexico, me and someone, we were talking about this, and he's from Alaska, right? And this was recent, we were talking about this, and anybody that has left the United States through the Mexican border, specifically through Nogales, right? Nogales is right off of Tucson, right? When you leave Tucson, well, Tucson is about 45 minutes from where I live. It's about 45, maybe an hour away from the border, right? The border is right there. So Nogales, Mexico is right there. So when we leave the United States and we go through the border, we're going through Nogales, right? So Nogales is right there, Nogales, Mexico. So when you're leaving, immigration doesn't pay you any mind. They're like, good riddance, right? Why would they care that you're leaving? Now think about it. If they put her in the trunk, no one was going to check that vehicle because they're leaving the United States. So it's just like, I don't know. They said back in Tucson. So this is the first time I'm reading this, right? So it makes me think that, did they take her out of Tucson? Who knows? If payment is not received by the last deadline on Monday, the 9th at 5 p.m., she will be unalive. Your mother is aware of this and her life is in your hands. It is in the best interest of everyone to have this completed as soon as possible. You will not be able to contact me from here on out. There will be no negotiation. Do not play games. Law enforcement will not be able to help you. This is the first time I'm actually reading this, and I cannot imagine what that woman went through, or what anyone would go through if, of course they read the letter, right? The kidnappers, we're going to read this to you. I can't imagine, right? So it says, do not play games. It says, and then they start saying specific things that, she had a white smartwatch on the floor at the foot of her bed, and the white floodlight in the backyard was destroyed. So they're saying specific things that only they would have known. Now, did they destroy the floodlight in the backyard, or was the floodlight in the backyard already destroyed? Right? I don't know. Maybe they destroyed it. Who knows? But it's just unfortunate if it was destroyed already and they knew certain things, like even the fact that the it's not a Ring camera, but the camera on the door, that it didn't have a subscription and things like that. I don't know. Like I said, this is the first time I read this, but the backyard, it says, and the white floodlight. So they're given specific things as to telling them, we know, we have proof that we took your mother, right? So I feel so bad, right? So it says, now the second note, y'all know that that's Nancy Guthrie and her mom, right? I mean, this is Savannah and her mom, Nancy. And, Savannah is still going through things. I think Savannah has taken a leave from the Today Show. They said, I read something about her covering being the new host for a game show. And maybe that will help her, right? Maybe it will help her where she's not so serious, because we know the news is very serious. And I'm one of those people that really don't watch the news because it's so depressing. Sorry guys, it's hot in here. And y'all know me, I refuse to cut my ear on, only at night. I mean, I'm sweating and stuff all day. I'm like, why should I cut the ear on, right? Just keep sweating, take a shower, and cut the ear on before you go to bed so you can sleep well. The second note revealed, however, that they were too late and Nancy, died shortly after. They revealed her alleged cause of death in the note with an apology. It states, we did not fully grasp the seriousness of her physical condition, because y'all must have been rereads, right? You kidnap an 84-year-old, what the world? We never intended to hurt her. That was not our intention. She perished shortly after she was taken. We believe it was heart related. She is buried in nature now. That's the nature comment. Nothing you could have done could have changed the outcome. We want your family to know this and hope you all can find peace. We are truly sorry, it said. Now, y'all, let me come back to this so y'all can see my face. So in the first note, you gangster. Law enforcement can't help you, this, that, and the third. And then the second note, I'm sorry. We didn't grasp the seriousness of this. She died from a heart related. She's in nature now. And it's like, so that's why I guess when I was talking to Ford from News 13 in Phoenix, how he was saying that, blah, blah, blah. Did we think she's born? I'm like, well, we hope for the best and this, that, and the third, but it's just unfortunate, right? Now it's like, we hope you can find peace. How in the world can they find peace when you done snatched their mother up out of her room, out of her house, right? Probably in her night clothes. You done snatched her up. You took her. God only knows where you took her to. You give them this note. If you don't give us this amount of money on this day, on Monday, it goes up to 6 million, blah, blah, blah. And if y'all don't do this, she's going to be unalive. And then law enforcement can't help you. And then the next note says, well, we're sorry. We didn't know that she was that old. And we think she died from heart related. We buried her. We gave her a proper burial. And now we hope you find peace. These people don't have a heart. Right? They have an ice box where their heart used to be, because these are within days of each other, right? I don't know if there's days of each other, but the notes were coming pretty quickly, right? So it's just like, what in the... We hope you find peace. How can they find peace and their mother has not been returned to them? But like I said, why would they tell them where she is? Because with all the DNA and everything, why would they do that? Somebody, there are people that have committed perfect crimes where they have lived a full life, died, and they're the only ones that know that they did something wrong. And then there are people that thought they committed a perfect crime and just one, if they didn't drop the hat, if they didn't drop a key, if they didn't drop a drop of blood, if one thing is which made them get caught. So I don't doubt that these people are thinking about this. I don't doubt that they're like, should we tell them where her body is? Well, if we do, they might find us this way. I don't know if we should do this. Maybe we should just keep our mouths shut. And, it's just unfortunate. I was hoping that with rainy season, rainy season is not over yet though. So hopefully wherever she is, if she is in Tucson, if they said back to Tucson, I just feel like if they're saying back, then that means you have left Tucson, because back means to go backwards. So back in Tucson, that's just my opinion. I feel like maybe they did take her out of Tucson. And if they took her out of Tucson and they buried her, it may be some time before they find out exactly what happened to their mom. Because I'm not in law enforcement, but do I think that bones are found all the time in Tucson? Probably. We live in a desert, right? And if you just put somebody's body out there, it's going to decompose very quickly in the heat. No one's going to be able to recognize them. You know, we just hope that, like with the rain, you know, and depending on, maybe it's not up here where she lives, you know, maybe it's down there closer to the border or something, and it rains down. It seems like it rains downtown more than it rains here, like where I live. It rains a lot in my neighborhood, this new neighborhood that I moved to. It rains a lot here. Every time I come outside, I'm like, what? There are water pockets on a tent. I was like, it rained last night? I didn't even hear it, right? Because it rains and then within 2.5 seconds it dries up. It dries up. So it states that
I miss when HR used to feel the squeeze of bad software.
There we go. Okay. So it says the sheriff's department released a statement saying that they are still investigating every lead as they seek to provide answers for the Guthrie family. They shouldn't have never let the house go, right? That's in my opinion. They shouldn't have ever released the home. Maybe we wouldn't be sitting in this position right now with lack of DNA and everything. So the sheriff's department released a statement saying that they are still investigating every lead as they seek to provide answers for the Guthrie family. We recognize relationships and loyalties change over time, as do people and their perspectives, right? This is what I was saying in regards to, if there are more than one person, somebody is going, everyone is not a sociopath. Sometimes there are people that are followers and they help the criminal. And the criminal is like, oh, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. This is whatever. I'm a sociopath. I don't have any feelings about this. I'm gonna take this to my grave. But someone that helped them, because if you're going to get someone to help you do this, most of the time the people are like, oh, I'm a follower, you got drugs for me, you have some, you got alcohol, you got, you know what I mean? You're going to pay me $5,000. It's like, dang, how broke are you with $5,000? You're going to get $5,000 to go and help get rid of nobody can call me and say, Tay, I did this. Can you help me get rid of the body, yada, yada, yada? I'm be like, what? No. Hell no. And you better not call me again. And if the police call me, they're going to catch your ass, okay? Right? Like, because I'm not, why would I jeopardize my life? But there are some people that I really don't understand, where they don't know who they are and they will accept certain things from people and help. They will help. Because I sure feel like David, D4VD with Celeste, somebody was going to help him. That's how I feel. He left the car on the road and then you went to do your interview and then you went on tour. No, I think somebody said that in here too. I agree with you. I think that was Alma. I do feel like someone else was supposed to take that car and get rid of Celeste, and they did not do it. They were like, okay, you got to give me this amount of money. He gave them the money. This is just my opinion, right? This is just my thoughts, y'all. He gave them the money and then they ran off. Right? Oh yeah, I'll do it. So now he on tour and he's like, what the? So didn't do it. He took my money. Yes. They took the money and they ran off. What you gonna do? You gonna go to the police and say, hey, I gave them $20,000 for them to get rid of Celeste's body. And the judges go, the police go say, you did what? Say that again, you did what? Right? They're not gonna say that. So I do believe that someone else was involved, right? Just like with this. It wasn't one person that abducted Nancy Guthrie. In my opinion, it's not one person. It is not one person. Because who's driving the car? Who pulled the car up to the door or wherever? Who pulled the car up? The same person that was in front that pulled the camera off? No, it was at least two people. At least two people. So maybe one is a sociopath. The other one is going to eat at that person and eat at that person and eat, because if you're not a sociopath, you're going to be bothered by this. So when it says we recognize relationships and loyalties change over time, as do people and their perspectives, that will be one of the ways that someone will get caught, that we will find out what happened with Nancy Guthrie. But this is going down in history, unfortunately. Just like Celeste, her picture is everywhere. She probably wanted to be famous, but I guarantee you she did not want to be famous this way. So this is going down in history. So it is not too late to come forward, regardless of how insignificant you think your information may be, or whether you think we are already aware of it. Please contact us. They ended. That was the sheriff's department. 2 men were brought in for questioning around her disappearance. We know that in February, but Pima County Sheriff Chris Nano said that they're not completely in the clear. Nobody's completely in the clear. Nobody's completely ruled out as a suspect. Nanos told ABC 15, we took information, developed it for a warrant from a judge, a magistrate, and we served that warrant. And all that information we gathered is gathered. And because we didn't make an arrest or release or we release some people, it doesn't mean they are cleared. It just means we don't have enough to hold you. Now, I don't know if you all aware of this, but there was the people that were arrested. I don't want to do this. People that were arrested or detained. I read somewhere that they filed something against Pima County Sheriff's Department. I read that article yesterday or today. I thank God for the news comes to my phone. I don't know. I did an update, now the news comes to my phone. But they filed, I think they said, an injunction or something against the Pima County Sheriff's Department. So we're going to see what comes out of that. Because, this is why we were saying, well, what information was gathered where y'all were able to go to the judge, a magistrate, get a warrant, and then serve the warrant? What the hell connected them to Nancy where the judge was like, okay, this is enough information, I'm signing this warrant? We don't know. None of that information is going to come out until probably court. They're holding that close to the vest. Why? I haven't worn this shirt in forever, and I just feel like it's holding me like this. That's how I feel. But I don't know. I would love to know what was in the warrant, what information they had to connect them to Nancy enough for the judge to sign the warrant. But we will never know until we get to court. So it says Guthrie was reported missing by a family member February 1st, 2026. She was last seen in her Tucson home on January 31st. So today makes the 6-month anniversary. Today makes 6 months of Nancy being taken from her home. No, I did not just eat chicken. I just put some stuff on my lips, some Vaseline. Okay, so let's go to this one. Let's see. We're gonna get rid of that one. And so let's go to the most recent updated information about DNA. Okay, so I'm sorry, Nancy. I'm so sorry that this happened to you. So it says, here we go. Bring that down. So hair found at Nancy Guthrie's home, not connected to suspect in her disappearance. This is from another one from MSNBC. And basically, there we go. Story by Nicole Acosta. It says, we can confirm that all hair, this is per a spokesperson from the Pima County Sheriff's Department on today, July 31st. It says that this was how many hours? 3 minutes, 8 hours ago, a 3-minute read. We can confirm that all hair has been resolved. We can confirm that all hair has been resolved, and it does not point to a suspect in this investigation. You know, we all say, like, no person deserves to be abducted from their home, but this is very unfortunate, you know, for Nancy, 84 years old. She has already been through so much with her husband, losing her husband, you know, in an accident, and him going to work, and, you know, him going to work and never coming back home. And then it's just so unfortunate for these young people. Well, I'm not going to say young people, but for her children and her grandchildren and her friends and her neighbors to, but mostly her family, to not know what happened to their family member and to have to live through this, you know, but for their father to be taken suddenly in an accident, but at least they have his, I'm assuming that the body came back and they were able to lay him to rest, and they can go to his grave site and, pay their respects and put flowers and talk to him or do whatever people do at grave sites, right? But they can't do that with their mom. They can have a memorial, but there's going to leave a void in them as to what happened to our mom. And to know that both of their parents were taken suddenly, one violently, one in an accident. I feel really bad for them, and I don't wish that on anyone. It says, what we need to know. Investigators say hair covered from Nancy Guthrie's Arizona home has not yielded any suspects in the kidnapping case, nearly 6 months after the 84-year-old mother of Today anchor Savannah Guthrie was abducted from her Arizona home. Her whereabouts remain unknown. And this is... Other people have been kidnapped and abducted, right? And most of the time we think it's for money, right? But the fact that Savannah is on TV and she's a celebrity, I feel bad for her. I send her light, love, and positivity. But no one can tell her, it's okay. It's not your fault. She's going to hold that for the rest of her life because she is on TV, because she exposed her mom. She exposed her living in Tucson. She talked about Tucson and things like that. So those are things that this woman is going to have to carry with her. That guilt she has to carry with her for the rest of her life. She is a very, very spiritual, religious person. So I'm hoping that God gives her some sort of peace, but even being in this flesh, we're spiritual beings in this flesh. Yes. And we can pray and fast and do this and do that. And, but there are certain things that it's just going to stick with us. There's certain things that's just going to stick with us, period. And I feel like this is one of those things with her. I just hope that she finds some sort of peace to know that, it's not my fault. I didn't do this, right? But I wish we would have protected mom a little bit better. Mom should have been in a gated community. But if there is, we know that there's an HOA in that neighborhood, there's no way she would have been able to build a gate around her home, right? Maybe they should have put, I don't know if even this exists, but if there was an electric fence, you know how to use the electric fence for dogs? But if there's an electric fence that's motion detected, right? To the engineers, y'all be able to tell me if this is really actually exists. But if there was an electric fence where if someone crossed it, there's an alarm that goes off in the house, right? But I just feel like Nancy should have been way more protected. Now we talked about this before, having Alexa and different cameras and stuff in the house, but I go to the gym with older people. This is a retirement community, right? Arizona, Tucson specifically is a retirement community. And these people don't want, so many of the older people, they're like, I don't want that in my house. I don't want that. I don't want that, right? They love having their independence. And I don't know, I'm only 47. I don't know how I'm going to feel when I'm 70, 80 years old. I want to still have my independence. But for me, I'm like, look, I have cameras in my house. If someone hacked my cameras, then they're going to be like, well, we saw her walk around the house naked. It's my damn house. You ain't supposed to be looking in my house, right? You ain't supposed to be hacking my cameras, right? So if you see something you don't want to see, then you shouldn't see it. You shouldn't hack my cameras. But, I'm not talking about we're going to do this big crime. And I know that they're not doing that either, right? But I feel like when you become a certain age, you should allow your children to have some type of security in your home for you. That's just my opinion. Because this is a different day and age. And you just never know who's watching you. No one ever knows who's watching them. Okay. I just want to make sure wait. Okay. All right. No one ever knows who's watching. Okay. Sometimes I just want to check to make sure that there's sound. So I know that times have changed since Nancy was living in that home, right? She's been in that home for what, 40, 50 years? But it's not the way it was 40, 50 years ago. Like I told you, I went to class with a young lady and she lives in that neighborhood. She was like, yeah, we still have yellow ribbons, you know, because of the rain and the weather and everything, the elements, the ribbon doesn't look the same, but she lives in that neighborhood. So the hair did not produce or yield any suspect. So now we're still waiting on that little bit. Now, Nanos did say that he did not expect. Here we go. We can confirm that all hair has been received and it does not point to a suspect in this investigation, a spokesperson stated from the Pima County Sheriff's Department. The FBI's Phoenix field office, maybe I should go to Phoenix. I'm going back to the FBI again, y'all. I'm not playing with these people. Which is assisting, a squeaky wheel gets attention, which is assisting with the investigation, made a similar statement to NBC News, right? So Pima County Sheriff Chris Nano said, hair evidence rarely yields usable DNA. To find DNA or hair is extremely rare, he told NBC News. Hair doesn't produce DNA like touch DNA or bodily fluids. The update comes one day before the 6-month anniversary, and it states that again. So basically, authorities believe she was kidnapped from her Tucson, Arizona home in the early morning hours by a masked man seen in surveillance footage who appeared to be tampering with her doorbell camera. Nancy's whereabouts remain unknown. So these are, come on now, let's skip it. I want to see this. Okay, so this is they're talking about the ransom note. Now, I wonder how it was sent, right? I know it wasn't sent electronically. It would have been so much better if it was sent electronically, because if it was sent electronically, then an IP address, people would have been able to track that. But I think it probably was sent through the mail. People probably had on gloves, you know. I mean, just looking at movies with ransom notes, you use gloves, they type in it, they probably checking the paper. It's just, I don't know. But, you know, so in the end, like I said, I may not cover what's going on with the Nancy Guthrie abduction all the time, but in the end, everyone still wants justice for Nancy Guthrie. Everyone still wants justice, right? The search continues. Because this shouldn't have ever happened. Now, let's talk about something else. Now, what popped up is there is how can I say this? So let me just bring it up let me just bring it up. There was another abduction. Now this was crazy. There was another abduction of a 74-year-old that is similar to the Nancy Guthrie. Dang, my rack looks huge right now, right? Sorry, guys. It looks super huge in this shirt. Okay, there was another abduction, and this woman's name was Violet Ripken. Now, this is interesting. Now, I'm just going to read this to you all. I want to make sure it's nice and close so y'all can see it. Now, Violet Ripken I think she is the mother of a baseball player. I think his name was Cal Ripken. Let me just make sure. Yes, okay, this is the wrong phone. I think he's a baseball player. So at 74 years old, Violet Ripken, the mother of baseball star Cal Ripken Jr., was abducted at gunpoint from her Maryland home. So let me just, y'all, there's certain parts of this. This is super long. This is shout out to unresolved.me. So they have, I guess this is a website where they are speaking of cases that are unresolved. But at 74 years old, Violet Ripken had a daily routine, which began at around the same time every morning. It started with her getting her newspaper from the front porch and eventually led her to making a trip to her nearby McDonald's. It was a routine that, wow, she ate McDonald's all the time and lived to be 74 years old. They're definitely playing with the food now. Because you eat McDonald's now, you just like, oh, I have flatulence immediately, mess up your stomach and everything. It makes you más gorda, muy gorda, gordita. It was a routine that her neighbors and friends have picked up over the years, especially her next door neighbors, who had lived next to her for more than 30 years. However, it was later theorized that this routine might have been noticed by someone with intentions that were anything but pure. On July, now this happened in 2012, July 24, 2012, a Tuesday, Violet's morning routine unfolded as it always did. It was a warm summer day in Aberdeen, Maryland, about 30 miles northeast of Baltimore, and Violet was preparing to leave the home she had lived in for approximately 46 years. Sometime between 7 and 8 a.m., Violet entered her garage and was greeted by a horrifying sight. A strange man was standing in her garage, seemingly waiting for her. How did he get in there? He was wearing a ski mask and gloves and holding a handgun. He directed Violet towards her own vehicle, a silver 1998 town car. There, Violet was bound and blindfolded. Now, this is not in connection with, this was not in connection at all with the Nancy Guthrie abduction. It has similarities, right? So in the backseat of her own car, Violet Ripken was driven away from her home, right? Okay, so let's say this. Let me just say this. She was bound and blindfolded. The man bound her ankles and wrists with rope, originally planned to wrap duct tape over her eyes and put her in the trunk. However, she seemed to have pleaded with him not to, due to her suffering from claustrophobia. The man showed pity upon her. Instead, he placed duct tape over her glasses, which kept her mostly in the dark and allowed her to sit in the back seat. This allowed her to see a little bit through her peripheral vision, right? Later, the man seemed to realize this and replaced the duct tape with a mask of some sort, which completely blocked her vision. So she sat in the back seat as she was being driven away from her home. The man didn't seem to tell her where she was going or why he was taking her, but seemed to drive her around for most of the day. Eventually, he put a white shirt or a sheet over the back window on the driver's side in an attempt to hide Violet from the world at large. He made multiple stops for gas and food. He was not overly malicious or harmful. He kept reassuring her that he wasn't going to harm her, and even shared cigarettes and fast food with the woman, right? It seemed like he didn't even know who she was, making no mention of her baseball playing husband or son. Okay, so her husband was a baseball player, and her son. In fact, he seemed oblivious to the fact entirely and just kept driving around the Baltimore area. Now, for more than 12 hours, no one was aware that Violet had been abducted. She lived alone and autonomously. I always have a hard time pronouncing that word. It wasn't roughly until 8:30 that she was reported. Now, let's go down here. Let's go down, because they have, he lit her cigarette for her. They stopped for food. He said, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to take you back. And that's what he did. Now, this is the crazy part. I'm going to put this link in the description box, right? Now, the only difference is, like, he took her credit cards. He was using her credit cards. They said during the July 25th press conference, Aberdeen Police Chief, at this time, I can say we know of no ransom demand, right? This did not seem to change in the beginning and change in the coming weeks and months. The police weren't releasing any information hinting to a ransom demand or payment. So robbery seemed to be the most likely motivation for this abductor, as it was later determined that the man had taken Violet's credit cards and used them on the day she was kidnapped. However, they would never announce what he bought with the credit cards, believing that information should remain confidential, likely to help weed out the false confessions in the future. So, you know, he didn't cover his face. This is him, right? He did not cover his face. The day after Violet returned home, because he did return her home. July 26th, police released images from the surveillance cameras. So he did bring her back home. He brought her back home. So that's the difference between Nancy Guthrie and this. Nancy, they did not bring her back home, but they said he's a white man, looked to be in his late 30s or 40s, pretty tall, thin, estimated to stand around 5'10", 200 pounds. He doesn't look 200 pounds, right? But I guess because he was tall, yeah, he doesn't look 200 pounds, but what do I know? Okay, so they have other pictures of him, right? That November, roughly 4 months after the abduction of Violet Ripken, police revealed additional photos of the culprit, additional photos, Walmart in Middle River, Maryland. I tell you, I don't even know why people go to Walmart. Walmart has the best. They will not pay for an upgrade for tap and pay, but Walmart does have the best cameras. They pay for their surveillance, their what is it called? Theft protection or theft whatever it's called. But they spend a lot of money on that. So later, detectives revealed that the man was returning items he had purchased at the Glen Burnie Walmart 2 days prior, having paid with them for their credit cards. Yet investigators will not disclose what the items were. So did he get his money back? Because most of the time they put the money back on the credit card. So they show the video, the green Dodge minivan from Walmart. This was in 2012, right? So this is about 14 years ago. Surveillance images of the culprit obtained from numerous cameras in the region led police to create a sketch of the man, right? So that's what he looks like. And this was in the Maryland area. Now, so just a week, this was Cal Ripken Jr. He was talking about the abduction of his mother. He said, "Mom is forever affected. There is no doubt about it. We're forever affected as a result of that. And it's a little unsettling. He's still out there. And I think Mom is coping as best she can." That's the hard part in many ways, to cope with it. You want to forget about it, right? When we all go through horrible, traumatic things. I've never been kidnapped. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. But I have had one of these put to my head when I was like 14, right? Because I was around two girls that were straight up 304s in high school. Their mother was they were pretty girls too. One of them had a baby. They went over to some dude's house right? I'm chubby. I'm sitting on the porch. The boy comes out with a revolver, probably one of his father, brother, some adult in the house, and he put it to my head. Like, oh, you ain't gonna do what they're doing? I'm sitting there like, yo, I could have used the bathroom on myself, right? Traumatic. So you want to forget about things, but you can't forget about it, like he said, until there is some sort of closure. I want to forget about what happened in the Gambia, but I can't forget until there's some sort of closure. My closure is not coming from court, right? My closure is not coming from them holding other Gambians accountable. My closure is going to come from me writing my multiple books. That's where my closure is going to come from. But when you go through something traumatic, you want to forget about it. But if there's no closure, Savannah Guthrie and her family, there's no closure. So how can they really get past this? Loss protection. Thank you, Judy. Hi, happy Friday. See, y'all always come in and give me the right words, right? Okay, so the police continued their investigation. Now, this is the sad part. Okay, so let me see. When she spoke, she said, "I didn't want to go and hide. I felt like if I keep away from things, it's not going to be very fun for me. I had to face it." I respect, a lot of these, of my elders, 70, 50, 60, 70, 60, 70, 80, 90-year-olds. Like, I respect you all, because you all are dealing with things way better than some of us young people, right? So she knew it wouldn't be fun for her. Now, just a few weeks after the one year mark came and went, Violet's son, Cal Ripken Jr., announced that he was increasing the reward from $2,000 to $100,000. The original reward had been deemed paltry by some, who critiqued it as being a minor sum, I guess, too, because $2,000 is very low, especially for a football player, an athlete, right? Being minor sum, being a minor son for such a high profile and potentially major crime. Cal agreed that the original award of $2,000 wasn't enough and was now hoping that the added cash incentive would inspire someone to, someone with information to come forward. I feel like you should have went higher from gate, right? $2,000, people be like, I'm not talking about that for $2,000. This man did that and y'all can't catch him. I'm probably laying beside him when he sleep at night. If you give me $100,000, I might have a better, and put me in witness protection, then maybe I will say something, but $2,000 is not going to get anyone anywhere. So they said, unfortunately, Violet Ripken's 2012 abduction was not only not the only frightening incident that would happen, that she would have to endure. This is crazy, y'all. Like a 75-year-old woman. So a little over a year after her kidnapping, a little over a year after her kidnapping, and in October of 2013, once she had finally started to settle back into her routine once again, she was leaving a NBRS bank in downtown Aberdeen. As she left the bank and began walking towards her car, a man wielding a handgun confronted her in the parking lot. Can you imagine? Like, can you freaking imagine? Like, okay, so I'm finally, starting to get over what has happened or deal with what has happened. And now someone else decides, we're going to use a pow. And I'm like, this woman, I really feel bad for her. When I read that part, I was like, what in the hell? So again, a man had her at gunpoint and was demanding her car. But Violet, now nearly 76 years old, she got smarter, reacted quickly. You won't take my ass again, Violet said, and pressed the panic button on her car keys. Now, how many think about that? All right, if you have a new car, or I have an older car, but if your car has an alarm, you press that panic button, right? That's going to get people's attention, right? Hey, help! Some are louder than others, right? Her lights started flashing and her car horn started blaring repeatedly, attracting attention from everyone in the vicinity. Thankfully, Violet was not harmed, but she was definitely frightened, this being her second firearm-related offense in about 15 months after all. The gunman fled the scene. It was later located. It was located by police roughly 2 hours later. In the aftermath, he was identified as 33-year-old Jesse Bowen, who lived nearby. He was later charged with attempted armed robbery, attempted armed carjacking, assault, and other offenses, including weapons and drug charges, right? But can you imagine? Police do not believe that the two separate incidents were related. It's just like, I know Violet like, I need to burn some sage over my body because this is a hot ass mess, right? With Bowen not matching any of the descriptions of Violet's kidnapper in 2012. Not only did he look different, but he was several inches shorter, weighed approximately 50 pounds less than the figure in the surveillance. So fast forward. The $100,000, let's just say this. In 2017, police released an age progression image of the suspect showing what the culprit would look like now. It also showed what he looked like with glasses and a hat on, and included color and much more detail than the original sketch. In an incredibly lifelike portrayal, whoever Kelly drew that. It's an incredible lifelike portrayal of the man that Violet Ripken recalls kidnapping her close to 7 years ago, a crime that is still unsolved. The $100,000 reward is still up for grabs for anyone that has help that helps the police identify the subject. It is not believed that the case has gone cold, with the investigators still looking at it as recently as 2017. But as of this episode's recording, the story behind the abduction of Violet Ripken remains unsolved. Now, what did I say earlier in regards to a perfect crime? Some crimes are perfect crimes because this person is living his life. Now, what did he get out of this? You got her credit cards, you bought some things, what, you on drugs, you got some money. He didn't get anything out of this. But I guess he didn't tell anyone either. Because as of 2026, he's still walking the streets, which is absolutely insane. So I'm gonna bring you to the last story of the day. So that didn't have anything to do with Tucson, but because it was a 70-some-year-old. The only difference is that person was returned home, and Nancy hasn't been. You know, no one thinks that Nancy is still alive at this point in time. You know, with her being 84 and, you know, having heart issues and limited mobility, I would think that she probably would have had a heart attack and just died, right? I can't believe that this is happening. You know what? Let me go be with my husband. And it's sad. Hopefully she's with her ancestors, and she's a guardian angel now for her family and her grandchildren. So the last thing we're going to talk about is this man right here. This dude right here. Let me see if I can bring this up. Let me see if I can bring this up. This dude was wilding, y'all. This dude was wilding. You hear me? He was wilding for respect. Okay? I don't know if you all heard about the mass shooting in Tucson. I think it was what, July? Let me just double check. July 20th. Monday, July 20th. So this dude, wait, let me stop sharing this. Okay. So this dude decides, I'm going to be gangster and I'm just going to wild the F out, and this is what I'm going to do. Do you see this? Video shows gunmen opening fire in Tucson before being detained. Now, I have to say this, y'all. I'm very selective of what I say in Tucson because I don't know who's part of the cartel and who's not. Okay? And I don't want them to be coming looking for me, right? But let me just say this. There is a such thing as the world's dumbest criminal. And when you all see this video, you're going to be like, what the hell? What the hell was he thinking? First of all, let me just explain to you all how Tucson is at night, okay? I don't really deal with Tucson at night because I don't like the Tucson nightlife. First of all, it's the desert. You're not going to catch my ass out at night unless I'm going from point A to point B in my car with my pow in my bag or on my hip, right? So they can see. When I'm outside sometimes at night, you're going to see my pow on my hip, okay? So just in case they're thinking, she black. She has a record. She doesn't have a gun. Try me, right? Try me if you want to. This is going to be your last trying of somebody. And if I'm out and about at night and I have it on my hip, then they know. Oh, okay. If I was thinking about doing something to her ass, I see her pow on her hip. Yes, I'm not playing around. That was one of the things I loved about moving here. As soon as I got my Arizona license, I went to the gun show. Gun show coming up this week. I think it's this weekend. I think it's this weekend. I'm not buying another gun. I do want to, not a handgun. I want a rifle, but those are expensive. So when I see people complain about, I don't have insurance, I don't have this, the government doing that, but you got all of these rifles, they're not cheap. Where the hell are you getting money from for these damn guns then, right? Maybe you should take your gun back and go buy you some damn insurance, right? I don't know. I don't understand that. That's beyond my comprehension. Because I'm like, if you're complaining about living, but you're going out and you're buying rifles, something is not right. Like, I think you're, how can I say this? Your priorities are jacked up. Point blank period, right? So I don't like going out. I don't really. So first of all, when you go downtown, there are a lot of bars. For someone that doesn't really drink, right? Y'all saw for my birthday, I went and got my nails done. I'm going to get my feet done tomorrow. I might have a glass of wine, right? But it's a little shoot, right? I may have a glass of wine. And while I get my feet done and my manicure, I've been doing that once a month to rid myself of my depression, right? I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get better with myself, taking care of myself more often. But like I said on Facebook, depression breaks you down mentally, but healing will build me up, to where I used to be. So I have to consciously make choices to better myself and not sit in this depression from these diabolical Black people that have screwed me over, right? Point blank period. Sorry. to the people that have to hear this, but not sorry to the diabolical demons that decide to do this to their own people and blame the white man for everything. Yes, I'm talking to you all. So I don't go downtown because it's a bunch of bars. Now, would it be funny to go downtown and just sit? I mean, you would have totally, you will laugh all night, right? Because they be out there drunk as F, okay? Oh my God, the girls be half naked. The dudes, they be tore the F down, okay? They be drunk as hell. Now, there are some bars that, like, I think it's called the Sky Bar. Some of these bars, because Tucson is so big on astronomy, right? The solar system and things like that. Even our lights are low-level lights. You cannot have bright street lights because it has to be low, so that way the telescopes can see into the sky, right? I think it's called the Sky Bar. So if anyone ever comes and visit me, then I'll go there with them at night. But after this happened, I'm like, girl, you probably staying your ass from downtown. But the Sky Bar, they have these huge telescopes, and that's what I like to see. If I go out, like, I like to dance, but you know, they play a little hip hop. I have to go to a Latin club, you know, because I can't dance to hip hop. They say, girl, you dance like a white girl. You ain't got you taking your black card. I'm like, you give me some salsa, some merengue, some bachata, right? Elisa, I never leave home without Lucille, right? I'll never leave home without my money girl. Nothing wrong with a little self-love. Absolutely not. We all need that, right? Yes, I've seen it with the Juice went and handed out flyers of Nancy. So yes, you see, people be wilding. They be tripping. You hear me? They be drunk as F. Let me just tell you about Tucson a little bit. Just to give you a little bit of history of Tucson of what I know. When I first moved here, I went to Pizza Hut and got a small pan pizza, right? And I was sitting there, and the mountain is there, and I'm just thanking God, like, wow, girl, you have been looking at Arizona for 7 years and you live here, right? That's why you know that if you have a goal of whether it's losing weight, you keep chipping at it. That chiseled body is going to come out, right? If you have a goal of finishing school or finishing anything, you keep doing it. It may look like it's so far away. That goal may look like it's from here to the damn mountain. But sooner or later, you're going to be climbing up that mountain. And that's where I was when I was sitting there eating my pizza. Now, when I ordered, they was like, would you like some wine or a beer? I looked at them. I said, what the hell? That has never happened to me in Jersey. If we want wine or beer, you need to go to like Denny's, not Denny's. Why did I say Denny's? TGI Fridays, Red Lobster, these restaurants that have liquor licenses. They have a liquor license, right? You have to go to those restaurants that have obtained a liquor license, right? Some things I just can't say, y'all. It's like a tongue twister. It's just I can't say certain things. Like my cousin, she can't say fruit. She'd be like, "Few." She cannot say fruit. She can't say fruit to save her life. So you go to Chipotle. They were like, "Would you like a mojito?" Hell no, I gotta drive. I don't drink like that. Now, I was known as the party girl in the Gambia. Why? Because y'all don't see me partying here. Where y'all see me partying at? I be in Zumba. I party in my house by cooking. I party in the gym. I don't party like that, right? I have been going to some places. If you are a member, then you saw where I went last Sunday, and I had an absolute ball, right? So I am stepping out of my comfort zone and coming up out of this depression. So when someone invite me places, I was supposed to go see Spider-Man today, but due to a time constraint, I booked myself twice. I overbooked myself. I've been overbooking myself really a lot lately because I've been going out and doing things, and I was like, oh my God, girl, you can't be at two places at one time. This is not multiplicity, right? You don't have another body at home, even though I wish I did. But I'm gonna have to go by myself and see it, right? But I want to see Odyssey as well. But I'm I've been going out more lately, right? So what was I saying? Oh, okay. So yes, I was known as the party girl in the Gambia, but I don't go anywhere here, right? So I was on vacation. So yes, Phoenix is like, oh, because I'm here, but I didn't move there, boo. You did, right? So you have to move there. You have to do all this. I didn't move there. I went to check on my investment property, and you didn't say anything about scamming. So don't try to insult me. But they lived there, and I mean, yes, the Gambians did welcome me, right? They did welcome me. But when I'm in the club, I'm like, first of all, these people party like it's 1999 every day. You go to the club don't close till 5. I'm not getting in bed till 8:30. I'm like, I can't do this. You're trying to turn me to an alcoholic. And then I'm in the club and I'm like, what the hell is going on? These are not businessmen. These are drug dealers. So I was known as the party girl in the Gambia, but I was having a good time. And then when it was time for me to, I was just wasting time, right? Wasting my time, just wasting time. And then they wasted my damn time. But so I don't party here in Tucson, right? If I'm going somewhere, I'm going to a concert, I'm going to an event, I'm going from point A to point B. I'm not big on drinking alcohol. No, Phoenix was an alkie. Give me this pill and let me drink this alcohol. That girl is a hot ass mess. That's not my life. And I realize a lot of people in the Gambia, I cannot relate to them except for the trauma bonding because we don't live the same life. I don't know what the hell type of life they live here in America. I have no idea. But if you go over there and you behave this way, I don't know what you're doing in America. And I wonder, how did you get to the age that you are at and you don't have anything? Jesus help you, right? So I don't go downtown. I'm not a big drinker, right? And then if I go somewhere and I'm dancing, right? I dance to all music. I do. I dance to all music. It's just that hip hop, I just can't pop, lock, and drop it. Once I drop it, I'm not going to be able to pop it back up. Okay. So I don't go. And I'm not a big, it's just, and people just go bar hopping. They have these, what is that called? The whiskey roads, right? They have line dancing. So one time, a bunch of us a bunch of us Zumba people, we went line dancing to whiskey roads. And I had on wedges. I was real cute then, y'all. Slim. And I think somebody went and asked the DJ to play a song, and it's a Zumba song. All the Zumba people, we took over the damn dance floor, right? So we line dancing, but it's not line dancing. We were doing Zumba. That shit was fun. It was so fun. And we did a couple songs, and then, we got off the dance floor. We went outside and drank some water. I drink water. They drink alcohol. I drink water, right? But so I really don't go downtown, right? Now you're going to see in this video a place that when I did go downtown, this is where everybody goes because it's the only place that sells, there are very few places that sell a slice of pizza. When I went into, I like pizza, right? There's a new place that has gluten-free vegan cheese pizza. I said, oh shit, I'm going to be going there and get me a slice. But 9 times out of 10, they want you to buy a pie, whether it's a small pie, a big pie. So there is a place downtown, I think it's called New York Pizza or something. They sell a slice, right? You're going to see what happened. Let's pull up this video. This is absolute insanity. Insanity it is. Okay, is this it? All right. Okay, so let me just rewind it. I'm happy I put this in here. Viewer discretion is advised, right? Because this dude wowed out. Okay? He wowed out. Now, before this, let me just tell you a little bit about this boy. Okay? His name is David Leroy French. This is the Arizona man identified as a suspect in the Tucson mass shooting. This was July 21st in a terrifying incident that, let me just bring this up real quick. Before I show you this. Let me just give you a little history of young dude. I don't know what the hell he was doing. I really don't know what the hell he was doing, what he was thinking. Excuse me. This is a young man. Like, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. So let's see. Okay, so he was known as David Leroy, was alleged to have opened fire following a verbal altercation resulting in a mass shooting of 9 people being injured. Now, this says 9 people, but the last time I heard it was 10 people that were injured, right? It was more than 9 people. It was 10 people. I think they said it was 10 people that ended up being injured. So, okay. Authorities swiftly responded to the incident by confronting and arresting the suspect, leading to an officer-involved shooting. As of now, the accused, David Leroy French, faces multiple felony charges while investigators are examining the circumstances under which he opened fire at a local at the local population. Now, this is okay. So he is 21 years old. You see this, David, 21 years old, and has been identified as the alleged gunman in the Tucson shooting. This is ProQuest.com. There's also no publicly confirmed information about his net worth, and any estimates circulating online remain speculative. So now he does not have court records, however, revealed that French has a prior conviction for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Okay, a detail that has drawn renewed attention following the latest incident. Hold on. Officials have not disclosed further information about his relatives or financial status. Now, the main reason why they brought up he has a prior conviction for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon is because this boy was on probation. He was on probation, right? Now, yes, we know that the probation officers are super busy. There is so many criminals, right? The criminals know the law better than regular people, than the law-abiding citizens, and it's just a hot-ass mess, okay? So they're overwhelmed. In my opinion, they are super overwhelmed. Didn't look at law enforcement before I looked at law enforcement the way I look at law enforcement now, but being a victim of a financial crime, an assault, a robbery, multiple robberies, like one here, one in the Gambia, I'm like, they make me want to be law enforcement. Give me a gun. I think, and a ninja be cool stick. I think I'll be out there. They're like, oh my God, they'll be reprimanding me, right? Like, well, what is she doing? I probably wouldn't even get through police academy because they will recognize that I have PTSD and I have anger. They would just see when I have to beat the hell out of something, they will see, she got a little crazy in her eyes. So they probably would dismiss me quick, fast, and in a hurry. But once you go through things, people sit back and say, I would never be in law enforcement, this, that, and the third. You go through what I've been through, and I think you will second guess yourself about being law enforcement because it doesn't make any sense. And these black people are doing it to each other, blaming the white man for everything. But we need to blame each other for what we're doing to each other. So it says, what happened during the downtown mass shooting? Now, so like I said, he was on probation. Now, the crazy part is this boy was on probation. And of course, you know, they looking up his socials. He up there throwing signs. He had I said, well, this wouldn't have never happened if law enforcement, if his probation officer was monitoring his page. This wouldn't have never happened. He was on there wowing for respect, okay? I was like, what? So of course they're bringing that up, right? And they like, of course, the people that are like, he shouldn't be in this country. It's a lot of stuff, right? It's a lot of stuff that's being said online, not for him, against him, against his status, whether he is illegal, legal, whatever his immigration status, whatever his status is as a citizen, right? They just going in. They're going in. So it says the shooting occurred around, what happened during the shooting? So it says the shooting occurred around 2 a.m., right? That's when everything is closing. So around 2 a.m., they got last call, blah, blah, blah. Around 2 a.m., get the hell out, right? And cut the music off, lights on, people like, right? Drunk, trying to get out, whatever, right? Because they be getting, black people call it white girl wasted, but they be getting wasted out here. But that's because the U of A is out here, right? And the U of A, they on some old, it's a party school. But from what I hear, every school is a party school. Somebody that goes to school in Colorado, went to school in Colorado, she was like, well, Colorado was known as a party school too. I guess all colleges, they go to college, they party, they drink, they get wasted. Okay. So it says it occurred at 2 a.m. In Tucson's busy entertainment district, investigators say an argument between two groups turned violent, with the suspect allegedly firing multiple shots in the crowd. Now, wait till y'all see this video. He wilded out. 9 people suffered gunshot injuries, while police officers who were already patrolling the area, there's always police down there, so I don't know why this boy just opened fire. While police officers who were already patrolling the area responded within moments after the shots. After hearing the shots, officers encountered the suspect while attempting to flee, issued commands, and ultimately shot him before arresting him. Multiple agencies, including the Pima County Sheriff's Department and Pima Regional Critical Incident Team, are investigating both the mass shootings and the officer-involved shooting. What charges? So French faces 9 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, 9 counts of aggravated assault with an infliction of serious physical injury, and 1 count of discharging a firearm at a structure. You can't just fire your pow just because we have the right to carry. You can't just you just can't open fire just anywhere. Like, that's stupid. However, prosecutors indicate more charges will be likely filed once investigators examine surveillance footage, speak with the witnesses, and collect other evidence. The case is currently being actively investigated by local authorities, who are continuing to solicit info on the shooting from people who witnessed the event and who took video footage from the location. Now, I'm going to say this. The last case that I just talked about with Ripken, the woman, what's her name? Vicky? What's her? Violet. It was a V. I'm telling you, I'm horrible with names, y'all. I tell you, if I knew him, that $100,000 reward would be mine. If I knew any information on Nancy Guthrie, that 1.2 is not million. 120, what is it? 125,000 or something like that. That money will be mine. Okay. I'm not, not me, y'all. If I knew, I'm going to say something. If you want to do these crimes, and you're going to do these damn crimes on your own, because I'm going to say something. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I know this information. And hey, put me in a witness protection program. I would like to be a new person anyway. So it says, okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. I need to stop sharing. So that's why I say, Judy, like, when the guys go out and they talk and they, when the guys go out by themselves, that they can go out. Not me. I can't. I know where I live. And I wouldn't put myself out there to put myself in harm's way. But being a dude is something different than being a female. There's no way I would be out at night doing anything. You know, even if I am live. Y'all know when I went to go see Chris Brown last year, what did I do? I went live because I was walking back by myself, right? So if something happens, at least y'all know I'm in Phoenix. Somebody, hey, 911, this girl walk. It's just not. It's not wise to be out by yourself as a woman at night in the desert. It's just not smart. So let me see. French electric. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so they don't have it. Okay, so this was on Congress Street and 6th Avenue. That is a main area, main party area. So it's Congress. If y'all know, Congress is one of the main streets in downtown Tucson, right? That's where all the clubs and the bars and the restaurants, all of that is on Congress. And I only go down to Congress in the daytime. So it says July 19th. Okay, so there's some discrepancy with the dates. There was a verbal argument. Found French fleeing the scene on foot. The court documents state that David French was given multiple warnings by responding to officers. Warnings by responding officers to stop, but he did not. An officer had eventually discharged the firearm on the 21-year-old. Okay, so the aftermath. Okay, so Tucson mayor, and I'm just telling y'all what I hear living here in Tucson, right? Wait, let me tell you this real quick. So it says, News 4 Tucson revealed that, and who is this? This is MSN as well. MSN.com. Just want to make sure I give people their due, their credit. Revealed that David Leroy French, that is a tongue twister for me, had pleaded guilty to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in 2025. So that was last year, y'all. That was last year. But he, like I said, he was on probation. Now, the aftermath of the incident, Tucson Mayor Regina Romero, a Democrat, I don't know if that makes a difference that they put that in there, thanked the first responders for their work in the aftermath of the shooting. She also took a dig at the weak gun laws of Arizona, a Republican Party stronghold. Whatever people believe in, I don't care if... The problem is they talk about weak gun laws and this and that, but the criminals can't be the only one. The criminals, the police, and the military cannot be the only ones with the good guns, because the law-abiding citizens are the ones that suffer. And this is my personal opinion, guys. This is my personal opinion, right? But I find that this is what people are always saying. Yeah, the Juice carried his weapon on him when he went, right? We don't play any games around here. You can't play any games around here because like I said, the military, the police, and the criminals cannot be the only ones with the good guns, right? They always say, oh, assault rifles. It's not called an assault rifle. It's called a rifle. People do assaults with the rifle. It's not an assault rifle. You can't say, oh, I'm going to the gun store. I want to buy an assault rifle. They're going to be like, well, which rifle do you want? It's not an assault rifle. That's something that they put on it that people say because people use it to assault people, right? Sweden, is it Sweden? Switzerland, they can carry rifles, right? When was their last mass shooting? I don't know about these. I don't know. Like with the gun laws, if you have stricter gun laws, are these people going and okay, so if they have stricter gun laws, what difference does it make with a stricter gun law when someone can buy a gun and YouTube, right? YouTube, like, oh, you can't post people's address, you can't do this, you can't do that, but they have videos of people being unalived, right? They have videos of that. They have videos of the young man, Fulio. I saw that. I'm like, well, damn, I seen that on YouTube, right? So they pick and choose the guidelines that they want to protect, right? And if I'm ever in California, I'm gonna sue them out of YouTube. Okay. So, but this is my thing. Even with stricter gun laws, what difference does it make when someone can go online and go on YouTube and say, oh, well, I can fix this gun. I can buy this part from here. I could buy that part from there. I could buy this part from here, and I can put it together and create my own gun. What difference does it make? Right? I don't know. I feel like the parents with the children that are getting these guns, what should they do? Lock your gun up. Be more responsible. And if you don't, then charge the parents, because it's just like having your license. It's a privilege that can be taken away. That's just my personal opinion. Because I'm going to go buy me a rifle, an AR, whatever. Because my thing is the police, the military, and the criminals are the only ones with the good guns. I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that. I don't carry my NRA card. I don't have an NRA card, but I exercise my Second Amendment right. And as a law-abiding citizen, we should exercise our Second Amendment right. People say, oh, I'm afraid of guns. My guns ain't never got up and said, you know what, let me go handle these ninjas that took your money and assaulted you. Right? Don't worry about it, Tay. You sleep in the bed, I'm gonna go handle it. No, it's the person. Some people shouldn't be able to carry guns. As I have PTSD, but I'm not gonna go and take my gun and take it out on everybody because, oh, I'm mad at Quasi Boyd and Phoenix and all these dumbass people in the Gambia that mess with me. It just doesn't make any sense. There has to be some level of responsibility, right? So, yeah, and I'm telling you, like, when I listen to some of these people talk, I don't even know who these people are. I don't know who the mayor is. I don't know, right? But they're like the mayor, the DA, they don't like none of them because they talk about, oh, we're crime free. I'm like, where? Crime free? What the hell is going on? Don't know. You got all these drug addicts out here at the bus station. They each other. I'm like, no, I say to myself, y'all, I love this place, but I say to myself, I love nature. But we do carry guns around here. So as we all know too well, the impact resulted from this act of gun violence reaches beyond the scene of the victims, Romero says. But hey, I think law enforcement should take some responsibility, because if he was just was it convicted? Did they say convicted? He pled guilty. So if he pled guilty to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in 2025. Romero, Tucson Mayor Romero, I think y'all should have been on his ass way more than that, right? What was his probation officer doing? Playing with the fingers? His fingers? I'm confused. Because if he pled guilty, then y'all should have been tracking his ass. Y'all should have been using AI to track his social media or something. Because he was all on his social media throwing up gang signs, okay? So y'all have to take some responsibility and don't blame the gun laws, okay? Because if he was on probation, y'all should have been monitoring his ass. Now they're putting blame on these people like, well, what the hell were y'all doing? Because somebody didn't check the records and like, oh, he didn't did this last year, and now none of the information is out there. But it's like, you can't blame the gun laws for this. You should have blamed yourself for not monitoring someone that was on probation. But there's so many of them. Hire me as a probation officer. No, I really don't want that job. So it says, Romero said, it affects all of us, family, friends, first responders, the witnesses, our entire community. We know that these moments leave a lasting impression on us and a sense of safety. I think the last time we had a mass shooting was with Guthrie, right? Was she the congresswoman or a senator? I think she was a senator. And her husband was a, oh, maybe I could open this back door now. Her husband was a, oh, shoot. He was an astronaut. Oh, yes, I should have been open this. We got wind out here. My ear is not on, right? I don't think it's on. Let me make sure it's not on. I don't think it is because I'm roasting up in this mouth. So that was the last, I think that was the last mass shooting that they had. And, you know, it was at a Safeway. I think it was downtown somewhere. I thought it was up here. But I think it was downtown somewhere. And quite a bit of people died. A little girl died as well. They named one of the spots on the loop after her. So a little girl passed away too. Hey, Rare. Hi, Rare. Y'all, I can't talk today. Hey, Rare Beans and Rice. Rare Bean and Rice. Oh, there is no S in there. I always call you Rare Beans and Rice. That is not your name. Rare Bean and Rice. But you know I love beans. Can't eat rice though. Greetings. Happy Friday. Happy Friday night frights. So we're talking about the mass shooting in Tucson that happened mid-July. They said July 19th, July 20th. One of those days, one of those times of the day it happened. So the boy, 21 years old, he throwing up gang signs on his social media, and the mayor is talking about weak gun laws in Arizona. But I think that they should have been talking about why his probation officer was not monitoring I should have opened this window a long time ago. That wind feels great. Why they weren't monitoring his socials, because he was on there wowing, and he had pled guilty to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in 2025. Did it say July of 2025? No, it just said in 2025. So Romero says, attacking the gun laws, she pointed out that from requiring universal background checks to extreme risk laws to funding violence prevention, there's more lawmakers can and should do. Okay. All right, ma'am. Yes, I do believe that they should be checking a lot more stuff, but law enforcement should have been doing their job as well. Point blank. Law enforcement should have been doing their job. The probation officer should have been monitoring his ass. Point blank, period. Okay, so let's get to the video. This was a hot mess. This was a hot ass mess. Okay, is this it? Let me stop sharing. Okay, here we go. So, like I said, viewer discretion is advised. Okay? Because you're about to see the video. Viewer discretion is advised. He wowed out. Look at this. Look at this. Now, okay, Let me just let it play through. I'm just gonna let it play through. Let me just let it play through. And then I'm gonna critique it because this was a mess, y'all. This was a hot mess. He lost his damn mind. Now look at this. The girl, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look. He didn't even get far. Stupid ass. What the hell, right? Now this is the pizza place. This is the pizza place. And this is the door. I'm always outside, right there at the door. I don't mess with Tucson at night. Now he's sitting there. Look. Now this is the crazy part. She looked like, what the hell? Now can you imagine how she probably pooped her damn pants when he ran past her? She's like, wait, I'm gonna hide here. He ran past her. But look, you see the cop right there? Pow, pow, pow. Now I don't know if it was him or him I think it was him that shot him. The one right behind the truck. Because he has his gun out. But what? He got nowhere. Now, this is, somebody, I don't know what happened because like when he was shooting, I don't know where he was shooting at. So let me just say this. This is, let me make this smaller. Let's do this. So he's pointing pow, 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 right? He really did. He really did. Judy, if I'm facing this way, the way he's shooting, on the left-hand side, like on his left-hand side is where the pizza place is. It's like on the corner or little past the corner, right? So it's weird because he wasn't facing the store. So it's weird that I guess maybe he must have shot someone and they ran into the pizza place, right? Hey, Purple Love, they must have ran into the pizza place. But you're gonna see, let me make this a little bit bigger because now I'm gonna critique it. You're going to see someone come from up underneath the table because there's no way for him to have shot into the pizza place, because if he's shooting this way and the pizza place is on this side, it's on the side of him, he had to pow the people and they ran into the pizza place, which I would have been. Now there is the pizza area in the front and then you can go in the back and sit, right? Sometimes I did go in the back because like I said, people got guns and they have alcohol in them. And then there's everybody, the Chris methies walking around, the crystal methies walking around, the fentanyl methies walking. I don't have time. Okay. I don't have time. So I don't even play around. I don't play around at night. Not in Tucson. I don't play around at night. People have too many guns, too many illegal guns. So now this is what I'm going to say. You saw the girl get up and run. The girl gets up and run to the side of the car. This dude, he probably was like, I'm too drunk. I can't. What the hell is going on? I don't mess with Tucson at night, y'all. I'm telling y'all. He sat there. Oh my God. Let me try to get up. She got up and ran. And then can you imagine you get up and you running from the gunman and then he run past you? Like, you be like, what the hell? Right? What in the hell is going on? Don't chase me, sir. So then she comes back. He finally got up. He squats down. But in Tucson at night, because people are drinking, because so many things are going on crazy, right? People are tipsy and you see him pulling. Now, I don't know if the person that ran was with him, but he is not even a person that should be able to carry a gun. You just pled guilty to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So he knows that he wasn't supposed to have a gun. So that's an illegal gun. But I told you, how close are we to the border? Right? So there are always police officers downtown. Y'all saw when I went to go and feed the community, right? For Thanksgiving. And I get out the car and the dude is shoveling the sidewalk. Right? You heard it. I'm like, this dude, as soon as I got out the car, I had my gun in my hand. He didn't look at me. He looked at my gun in my hand. That's what he looked at. And I looked at him and I said, girl, get back in the car because I am not trying to shoot anybody and I don't want any problems. I saw this and I'm like, oh, let me just let this go and go around. I looked around the corner on the other side of the gate. On the other side of the park. And I saw 2 Tucson Police Department SUVs. And I'm like, let me carry my little brown ass over there, right? It's more light. Let me do that. And I just made a judgment call, which was smart because that dude probably would have hit me with the damn, shovel. And it would have been a hot mess. I would have been running from him with food in my, it would have been a hot mess. And then, when somebody is on drugs, they have the strength of the damn Hulk, right? They got Hulk strength, crystal meth strength, fentanyl strength. I ain't got time for that. There's too many drugs out there. I don't have time for that. Crack strength, coke strength. I don't know. None of the strength that I ever had in my body. Okay. So, when I had major surgeries, I was on morphine drip and I'm like, ooh, what the hell is this? Okay. No, but they said that fentanyl is good. Not good enough for me to keep trying it. For me to try it outside of a hospital setting is what I'm saying. So the police are always out there. They walking. Now, let me see. Let me see. Can I share this one? Let me see. I want to share this one instead. I'm going to come back to this. Give me 1 second. Oh, wait. I'm going to come back to this. Let me just share this real quick. I'm going to show y'all. This is the officer. Where is he? Well, where is it? Oh, here it is. Share this tab instead. So that's the officer. They said hero officer who stopped Tucson mass shooting suspect. So that's the officer that stopped the shooting. So he's a hero officer. Okay, so let's go back to the video. Okay. So I don't know what possessed this man to this young man. There is a reason they call it controlled substances. Absolutely, Judy. Right? Now, if you see the guy that's beside him, I don't even think he thought that he was going to do that. Because if he was walking with him, dude just pulled this out. He looks back. He like, oh, hell no. He ducks. So let me get the hell away from him. He takes off running like he's a damn track star. Like, I'm out of here. So does she. Like, I'm out of here. I ain't that damn drunk. Then she scoots down and then he comes running past. Now, the crazy part is you see the lights across the way. You see the lights over there, right there, right? They immediately have their flashlights. And then, look, it was like, boom. What in the hell? There had to be some substance involved. Either he drunk, he high. I don't know what made this boy think that he was going to be able to get away. So now they go running to help. The police officers go running to help. And then you're going to see somebody come from underneath the table. You see? They're like, all right, I'm out of here. You see? Okay. Let me get the hell up out of here. Right? But let me rewind that. So he did run in there. The one with the gray shirt that was sitting there. Wait, oh, is it him? Wait, hold on. So I don't know. I think they chopped it up. But I don't know if the guy that's sitting down was the one that was kind of like staggering, right? I don't know if that was him. No, because the one of them didn't have anything on the back of his shirt, and I think the other one had a spade on the back of his shirt. But like I said, this is a big oh, that is him. You see? Wait, hold on. Pause it. You see? You see how he's staggering in the middle of these people with the white shirt on? Look at the back of his shirt. That is him. You see? That was him. Y'all saw that? Let me rewind it again. So you see? The girls in them try to get away. I don't know if they're trying to help him, but he's staggering. So I think that is him. That's the same guy that got shot. So I guess they must have ran, you see? And then you see him sitting there. That boy said, I am out of here. Let me get from underneath this table. I am out of here. But yes, that's what the dude did. That's what he did. So now he has been charged with 9 counts of this and 9 counts of that. And then there may be other charges. Thank God no one died. It was 10 people total. Because I did read 9, but then I did read that it was 10. But he only got charged with 9. So maybe the article that I read that it said 10 people that were injured. It wasn't 10 people, maybe it was 9 people. But I think he's gonna get some big time now. He's 21. He's gonna get some big time. Because I mean, if you just pled guilty last year to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, they should have been monitoring him to make sure he didn't have any weapons. First of all, what was the penalty? Because if he pled guilty to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, how is he still out in the streets? He didn't get any jail time? He didn't get any jail time. He just got probation? I'm going to tell you. I don't know if these people are Democrats or Republicans, but I can tell you what I hear in these streets. In the streets, what I hear in these streets is they're like, no one is being held accountable for their crimes here. That's what I'm hearing. I hear this all the time, and the people are complaining like, why are these people not being held accountable for their crimes? So the fact that he aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and they gave him probation for less than a year later, I don't know, let's say it was January. If this happened, if the court record said that he did this in January, okay, so January, it's been a year. Say if it was in December, it hasn't even been a year. So it's funny that it is now, because it used to be, this state used to be Republican. It used to be a Republican state, but it still has its if it's Democratic now, Judy, it still has very conservative values. Because they say Arizona is one of the states that is the last to do everything. They were one of the last to accept or honor Martin Luther King Day. So it still has very conservative values, but I always say, well, what the heck is so conservative? Because we free as hell out here. We can carry guns, we can carry knives, we can carry mace, we can carry pepper spray, we can carry, I can feel very, very safe around this mofo. I can carry everything. Bear spray, buffalo spray, like my friend said. He said, I need buffalo spray in the Gambia because those people are animals. He's Gambian, just so you know. He knows his own damn people. So, yeah. So it may be Democratic now, but it has very conservative values. But I don't understand. Now, with that being said, because I'm not here to talk about politics, right? Because I'm neither one can claim me. I'm green. I'm independent. I'm just an American, right? Because it's far left and far right, and some of the people like, I don't care. I'm gonna vote for blah blah blah. I'm just like, okay. Now they were saying that they said they don't care. We're going to vote Democratic no matter what. I don't care. That's what he said. I'm like, damn, we weren't even talking to him. He came out of class and just started talking, and he started talking crazy. I was like, okay. I got my gun with me just in case he get crazy. So, I don't know. But what I do know is whomever they are running for, right? Whomever, wasn't he a Republican though? Charlie Kirk and his family? I didn't know they lived in Arizona. I didn't know who he was until he died. I didn't know. But I tend to stay away from politics because politics has just gotten very crazy nowadays. It's like It's gotten very crazy, and I don't agree with some of the stuff on both sides. Democrats, Republicans. I'm like, y'all wilding. I don't agree. There's certain things that I don't agree with on both sides, right? Yes, he was conservative. Okay. So that's why I say it's weird that Arizona now is Democrat, but it has very conservative values. But I don't know where the conservative values come from, because I feel like a free white man, and I'm like, ooh, police don't even look at me. They don't look at my black ass. They don't pay me no attention. I'm at the red light, and I'm like, I'm waiting for him to look at me. This police officer never looked my way. I said, well, damn. As a matter of fact, when I used to do my walks, right? He would see me every morning. Toot toot, beep the horn. Good. You see me, I see you. So if you don't see my ass come back, then you know, hey, go look for my ass, right? They picked me up when one of my friends came out here, and she couldn't make it. She walks all the time in the morning and night, but she's used to humidity, and this is different. We don't really have humidity. And she was like, it's so hot. I'm like, what? I'm looking at her like, no, it's not. It's like 7 a.m. in the morning. But she just couldn't make it. The last time she sat down, and he was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, no. Can you give us a ride? He's like, oh, you trying to kill another one of your friends? But these police officers are nice. Now, would it be different if I was Latino? Yes. They treat the Latin people out here like the black people. They treat the black people on the East Coast. Like, every time I turn around, I see a Latin person. They got them on the side of the road. I'm minding my business. You think I'm going to I'm not. They minding her business there. They had this white dude out there. I said, oh, man, his ass is drunk. These people be wilding. But then they don't even, so they make so much money off of people that get DUIs. They make them get a house phone. It rings. They got to go and they put the in the car. I'm like, I remember when me and my mom went to DC, and the guy, he started the car. He was like, I got to blow. This was Washington, DC. I got to blow in this before. I looked at my mother like, do we want to be in the car with his ass? How the F he got a breathalyzer in the damn car? So they're not locking people up for these things. They're just making money off of them. But hi, diverse, welcome. Yes, everybody wild now, right? So I do see a lot of people. Get this. My old neighbor, he had a drinking problem. The girlfriend had a pill problem. The roommate used to drink, and one day him and his friend came over. We were going to the pool. He was like, oh, you want to come over? I'm like, sure, right? They ordered some pizza, right? I'm like, sure, I'm going to come and eat. I'm hungry. I don't have to cook. I walk in. There wasn't anything on the table at first. Next thing I know, he done pulled out a bill. He had a credit card. He pulled out a bill. He had a credit card. And next thing I know, I looked. He said, you want some? I said, no, thank you. Call me when the pizza gets here. I went right home. I don't do that stuff. And I don't be around that stuff, right? I don't know. No. You can't tell me nothing. So the boyfriend, he got a DUI, whatever. So he was like, the girlfriend was like, yeah, so he's in jail. I'm like, oh man. She was like, yeah, he got a DUI. So I come and pick him up in the morning. I said, I don't play around, y'all. I don't play around. She was like, yeah, so I got to go and pick him up from the jail, take him to work, and then pick him up after work and drop him back off the jail. And I said, wait, what? Okay, I've heard of work release, but you're still in your jumper. Like in Jersey, we see them on the side of the road. They're cleaning, but they are never by themselves, right? They're never like, oh, we're going to leave and we're going to come back. I said, that shit would never happen in Jersey. What? Them people, they will never see them again. Like, oh, yes, I'm going to let you out so you can go to work. And then you're going to come back and spend the night. So basically, in the daytime, they can go out, they go to work, they can hang out with their friends at work, blah, 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 713, blah, blah, blah. And then at night, they got to go and spend the night in jail. And I was just like, not in Jersey, baby. Not on the East Coast. They don't do that. They don't do that. So it's very different out here, right? But I do hear a lot of the Tucsonans complaining about, like the one that was, he was online very vocal, like, oh, they shouldn't up and he's Latino, he's Mexican, right? He grew up, he showed me a little book that he wrote. I feel bad for the boy though. I really do. He is lost. I think he grew up in the cartel. Like he wrote a book and he used the animals being slaughtered, but it was actually people. So I'm reading the book and I'm like, oh, this is horrible. All these animals died? And he looked at me and I was like, these are people? He was 7. So he's fucked up. He's messed up. So of course he do all, I don't know, that's all I saw. I don't want to see anything else, right? He had a baby. The girl like, because he was handsome. He was handsome. But the girls don't know. They like, oh, he party, because partying is okay. I don't party like that. Right? I don't party like that, so it's not okay with me. But some of these girls come from horrible backgrounds, and she had a baby by him, and then it's like, at first he was happy, but he's a drug addict and an alcoholic. So how responsible can he be? He saw people be unalive in front of him when he was 7. No one ever got this boy therapy. So he's like, I worked, to get this amount and they shouldn't increase the minimum wage. And I'm looking at him like, what? Minimum wage is like slave money anyway. Okay, so slaves didn't get paid, so I can't say it was slave money. But minimum wage, come on now. But he was very vocal about that. But there are some Latinos that hate their own people. Like, y'all need to blah, blah, blah. They think they white. And they be trashing the Latinos. I'm like, damn. Okay, so it's not just the black community. Y'all effed up too. Okay, all ethnicities are jacked up, right? We all got good and bad in every ethnicity. It is what it is. But, so yeah, the Tucsonans complain a lot about not holding people accountable. They're saying that they will arrest people that have a bunch of rugs on them. They take the rugs and they release the people. I said, well, all they're going to do is go buy more drugs. What the hell is going on? Alaska just got an increase in minimum wage, $14. That is nothing. Elisa, that is nothing in Alaska with everything costing $1 million. But then I heard Anchorage, Alaska. I told you. One of the guys that I was talking to, he comes from Alaska. And he was telling me like the crime in Anchorage, my mouth was like this. I didn't know that. But also he said that a lot of people are dealing with depression. We need sunlight. We need sunlight, right? And he's like, so is the crime really a hot ass mess in Anchorage? Because he was telling me that it's a mess. I said, I was surprised. I didn't know. He was like, yes, the crime is extremely high in Anchorage, Alaska. I was like, he said, so if you go visit, don't go to Anchorage. I was like, well, damn. That's not something that I thought, right? I always I was like, well, when I go to Alaska, you did say that. You did say that. You never leave home without Lucille. You did say that. Wow. I want to come to Alaska, but I think I want to do Lord Jesus, I was about to say a bus ride. A cruise. There we go. I couldn't think of the word. I would love to do a cruise. So that way I can be in the water. I can see things. I would love to be able to see the polar bears as long as they don't jump in the water and try to get the damn ship. Right? I don't know. I don't know about these animals nowadays. Did y'all see the bison that attacked the dude? He hiding. The bison said, I said no more damn pictures, right? The bison just straight up attacked him. These animals are like, look, I'm tired of y'all damn humans. When are the aliens going to come? The aliens going to come, and then the animals, they're going to turn on our asses. Them, the aliens, the animals, and AI. All three A's, the triple A's are going to come and get our human asses. The aliens, the animals, and AI. They're going to tear our asses up. Did y'all hear was another breach with AI? Open AI like, well, blah, blah, blah. AI said, you asked for the answer, so I'm going to go around and I'm going to find your ass the answer. AI is going past security breaches. AI don't give two F's. But we remember with iRobot, I don't know. It's very interesting and scary at the same time how society is evolving. Because someone that was 75 years old, someone that's 75 years old now, well, the time was totally different 75 years ago. Time was totally different 20 years ago. Time was different 6 years ago, before COVID. And it's very interesting to see how society is evolving now. And I'm like, I'm gonna buy my damn land and build my big ass wall like I'm in Africa, right here in Arizona, right? I don't care if the military guys, the drones, what the hell is she doing? I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm growing my food. I'm swimming in my damn pool. I'm out there sunbathing. Not really. But you can fly, the military can fly over and see, because they're going to do what the hell they want to do anyway, right? But I need to keep certain people out of and off of my land. I thought Africa was it. Oh, I'm going to go and retire in Africa. I'm not going to retire in damn Africa unless I'm married to Yaya Jammeh in Equatorial Guinea, because I'm sure as hell ain't buying land in Gambia. We're going to talk about Gambia tomorrow, y'all. Wait until you see all that. I won't be at the mercy of anyone. We have a lot of homeless, and drugs are a big problem. An Alaska attorney just got busted for drug trafficking to the remote villages. Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the Mormons. We have to worry about ourselves and our family. And if you meet some good people that are in the town that you're in, then hold on to them for dear life. And look out for each other, because this world is getting worse and worse. And like I said, I want to buy land. I want to live off the land. If I could work from home, I like going into the office and interacting with people. But then you go into the office and then you got these miserable ass old biddies, right? You got them, they've been there for 30 years and they think you coming to take their job. I'm like, no. All I want to do is play with numbers. I will be running up the overtime, right? They offer overtime. My ass is a workaholic. And then I'm traveling. That's it. Oh, don't you want us to send you to school, graduate school? No, thank you. Because y'all see the leadership abilities in me, and you want me to be the damn boss, and I don't want to be anyone's boss. You think I gotta, hey, you're fired. Then they come back, pap. I didn't got time for that. Just give me my accounts. Let me do what I need to do and play with my numbers and get my ass on out of here. That's all I want. And if I have to work from home, then that may be nice, because then I can travel all over the United States. Go and stay in beautiful hotels, fly around for free, and all I gotta do is get my brown ass up and work from 9 to 5, and then I can enjoy the nightlife, right? This is how I'm trying to slide into retirement. The way a plane has a smooth landing, and that's it. Because people are esta loca or loco, right? Depending on if they're male or female. People are crazy. People are absolutely insane. But thank you so much for joining me, you all. Friday Night Frights. If you come to Tucson, be safe when you come out, okay? If you go out at night, be safe, because my ass ain't going out at night. And Prayers up for Cecilia Munoz, that she is found, the 16-year-old is found, and that Nancy Guthrie is found as well. Shout out to the people that still every day, still looking for Nancy. My prayers are with you. I'm out there with you all, just not in physical. But we do hope that every missing person is found. But unfortunately, that is not. It's not a perfect world. We have some really jacked up people in this world. So watch yourself and take care of your family. Besos. Buenas noches. Good night.